You are listening to Productivity Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after productivity coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives entrepreneurs the straight talk on personal productivity. No BS fluff or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the Productivity Specialist.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to Productivity Straight Talk. Today is episode 292. Are you overcomplicating your business? If you're a business owner who wants to learn effective business strategies, improve time management, and elevate productivity to maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me. We're going to dive into a topic of determining if you are overcomplicating your business so that you can solve that problem by simplifying your business to help you and your team be more productive and less overwhelmed. If you would like coaching to grow your business, to improve your time management, to make a next hire, to help you make strategic business decisions to take your business to the next level, then I would love to talk to you. I invite you to schedule a discovery call so that we can discuss partnering together to help you get unstuck, reduce stress, and determine a clear path forward to increase profits. Head on over to amberdelagarza.com/call. Again, that's amberdelagarza.com/call. And I look forward to talking to you about your business and how I can help. And now, let's get to the straight talk. Have you ever truly asked yourself if your business is overcomplicated? I'm sure that even if you haven't sat down at your desk and asked yourself this question, you have experienced it. Does it feel harder than it should be to run your business, get new clients, or to serve your clients? Do you say things like, "Why is it so damn hard?" with no real answers? What if I told you that you could have a more simplified business that would feel less overwhelming, be easier to manage, easier to train new team members, easier to track what is and what is not working, less fall through the cracks, more time on your high-value activities, you can work less and be more profitable? You can. And it is all by simplifying your business. I want to give you an example that is outside of business and in the kitchen. Let's talk kitchen gadgets. In the name of efficiency, you buy every kitchen gadget that makes preparing a meal appear faster. Think along the lines of the slap chop, the pancake batter dispenser, avocado slicer, brownie maker, and egg separator. What really happens though is all those small gadgets gets lost in your drawers and cabinets and creates additional clutter. It takes longer to find them, if you even remember they're there, and when they're needed, it means that you have to wash them and dry them and find a home for them. It also means that you've overcomplicated dinner time when a common knife or spoon could have sufficed just fine. Well, let me tell you something. We tend to do the same thing in our businesses, often in the name of efficiency as well. Let me give you an example that I see commonly. Wanting to organize your electronic file folders, or back in the day, your regular file folders, or perhaps it's your email file folders. And in the pursuit of efficiency and quote unquote organization, a file folder is created for everything. Well, this is one thing that I teach in my Conquer Your Email Masterclass, which you can get on my website at any time. But one of the things that I talk about is how to simplify the organizational structure of your file folders. Because it takes so much bandwidth to make a decision and time of where to file the emails to, Oftentimes, it's a system that you cannot maintain over time. There becomes resistance to it, or you just stop organizing them because you're afraid you're going to put it in the wrong folder, or when you need it, you still can't find it because there's so many subfolders. And yet you're racking your brain like, why does this need to be so difficult? Why is this so complicated to keep organization in my file folders or your digital documents? And oftentimes it is overcomplication defeats the efficiency and organization. Now, I'm actually going to do a whole episode in 2 weeks. So tune in 2 weeks where I will teach you how to organize your digital files for optimal efficiency, if that intrigued you. But that is a really good example in today's episode of a place that often gets overcomplicated. But let's be honest, it doesn't stop there. Overcomplication can be found in every area of our businesses. And I have found it in my business before. Look, I'm not a girl who has every kitchen gadget in her kitchen or creates hundreds of unnecessary file folders. I was the business owner who was trying to do too many things and overcomplicating my business. And my overcomplication was in one specific area of my business, marketing and visibility, until I had a very honest but necessary conversation with myself in which I asked, why am I not liking my business? Why do I not feel so joyful about my business? And the answer that I kept getting back was that it was specifically marketing and visibility. I was making business decisions based on scarcity. Scared that if I didn't do all the things, I would be out of business. New business wouldn't come. I would not know if or where the next client would come from. And this belief and thinking resulted in me overcomplicating parts of my business and not enjoying being a business owner. That had to stop. It had to stop because I knew that I absolutely loved the work with my clients. I loved my team. And honestly, I loved everything else about my business other than the grind of marketing. So after that honest conversation with myself, how did I simplify my business? I first had to realize I could not make business decisions based on scarcity. Read emotional. Then I had to put my strategic thinking hat on, and you can too. But I didn't just lean into my strategic thinking. I also asked myself what I enjoyed doing in my business. With strategic thinking and enjoyment in mind, I made business decisions that changed my business forever. I used a framework that I teach and work with my clients on, which is called the feedback loop. Continue, stop, start. And this strategy I have shared in previous episodes. So if you are interested, you can hear how I use that in my own business in episode 222. That's a wrap, sharing my 2021 feedback loop. In there, I share it in my business, but I also share how to use that feedback loop. But this time, I didn't focus on wrapping up a complete year with the feedback loop or even a complete quarter. I used it in one area of my business, and that was marketing and visibility. And it was also in context of having the goal to simplify, making it more enjoyable. I first listed out every marketing and visibility task, project, or strategy in the business currently or ones I plan to do. Then I only added activities to the continue category that were working for us, working on with getting an ROI on my time, an ROI on finances, and that I was enjoying. That was the criteria. We had to get an ROI, meaning a return on the investment, and I was enjoying doing them. Then I added all the activities that I was not getting an ROI on and did not enjoy to the stop category. Then, for the start, I asked how I can improve the activities that were in the continue category. You can hear me teach about this strategy, about doubling down on what's working, in episode 251, Doubling Down on What's Working. That's actually the title of the episode. And then also in the start category, I was looking for things that I might need to restart. So looking in the past and saying, what has worked in the past? What have I enjoyed? And perhaps we're going to entertain starting those again. So now that you understand how I use the continue, stop, and start feedback loop to simplify my marketing and visibility, which I had previously way overcomplicated, I want you to think about things like, I no longer have a Facebook group. I no longer do Facebook ads. I don't have a business Twitter account. And I also used to do podcast downloads for each episode. And I also used to do free speaking engagements. That's actually how I started my business, was speaking for free at every luncheon that was local, sometimes not even local. And those were all things that I stopped doing in the pursuit of simplifying my business. And they were all things that had to be tried in marketing, but they didn't need to all be done at the same time. And they certainly didn't need to be continued if I wasn't getting a return on investment or I did not enjoy them. I want you to consider what specific areas of your business you could use the feedback loop on and simplify. And here are some areas to consider using this feedback loop on. So we already talked about looking at marketing and visibility. How can you simplify it by doubling down on what's working, not overcomplicating it, not spreading yourself so thin that no strategy actually gets the resources it needs of time, energy, or attention? Next area you may want to look at is the sales, right? What is your sales process? Does it feel overcomplicated to you or your team? Or maybe the process is overcomplicated in the client experience to work with you. How about looking at your offers? This is something I have done in the past as well, is simplifying and getting rid of offers that no longer work, or I didn't want to offer anymore because they didn't bring enjoyment, or to just, in the pursuit of creating more efficiency in the business, simplified the offerings that I provide to clients. Next area of your business you may want to do this feedback loop in is servicing your clients. So how can you simplify your client onboarding? Or perhaps you're just going to look at how you're actually delivering your goods or services. And can it be simplified? Can there be less tech used, less steps used, less people touching it throughout the process? There's lots of ways to simplify it. And the delivering the goods and services, I think that one place that's just coming top to mind to ask yourself is are you over delivering? Like, are you doing things that doesn't really matter to the client? Like, when you thought of it, you're like, oh my gosh, they're going to love it. And there's a whole process and there's resources of time and energy put towards doing this thing for your client. And it doesn't actually benefit them as much as you thought it would. So you're not getting a return on that investment. You can simplify by no longer offering that service or that level of service, by deleting it because it's not bringing additional value to the client. Perhaps you want to look at simplifying your offboarding process, right? Like, that's one category where you can say, what's the simplest way to keep the business organized, to offboard the client and make them feel great, but also do all the behind the scenes of keeping things organized? Next, what if you looked at your leadership or your team, right? Can you simplify your organizational structure? Perhaps as you started building your team, you had too many layers. Like, there was you and then management and then another tier. So maybe it is too complicated in the actual layers of who's managing who. Or it could also be that you started off with some independent contractors and some part-time employees and some full-time employees, and The simplification is that your business is in a place where you need fewer employees, but they all need to be in-house and full-time. You may have had a reason in your business where you were piecing out a lot of different types of work or activity responsibilities, and that feels too overcomplicated because so many people are reporting back to you, right? Like each person in each role you're talking to, communicating with, having meetings with, that can feel incredibly overcomplicated. Another area you can use this feedback loop in the pursuit of simplifying and uncomplicating your business is your schedule. This is a huge one. I mean, look at your schedule with the lens of where am I investing my time? Am I getting a return on investment? Do I enjoy where I'm investing my time? And there you may find that there's recurring meetings that no longer provide the value they once did. Is it okay to no longer have those meetings? Are you having weekly meetings that you can turn to every other week meetings? Are you overcomplicating your business, thinking that it has to be all you? And part of simplifying is hiring a team to delegate so that you can go back to a more consistent work week and schedule that feels good to you. Even with your schedule, you can look at theming your days. It may feel overcomplicated if you feel like you're trying to do client work and then you're doing financials and then you're going into a meeting and then you're on the road and you're traveling all in one day. So part of simplifying your experience in the business could be creating themed days of these are the days I'm out of the office and doing appointments. These are the days I have client appointments, and it could be multiple days. You can have one day that is specifically for working on your business or, handling the finances or leading your team, which is a different energy than working in your business, which might be other days of the week. By providing yourself with themed days, you're able to maximize your energy levels, and I guarantee it's going to be more efficient and feel less overcomplicated. These are just a few areas that you could use this feedback loop on of asking yourself, what is no longer serving you? That's the stop. What is working? Is it worth doubling down on that? What do you want to continue? And let that lead into an audit, right? An evaluation and an audit, and then move through those decisions. Based on that feedback loop, you're going to have to take action. You might find the stop requires multiple steps to stop something, to remove an offer, to simplify a process. When we're looking at what you want to start doing, it might require hiring somebody, training somebody, creating an entire new process or system. With regards to continue often, in my experience, requires the focus of the behavior change. So you are going to continue a behavior. You're going to continue consistently doing something in your business that provides value and helps with efficiency and simplification. All right, I hope you have found that to be helpful. The goal of today's conversation was simply to ask a good question. And questions are powerful. That is one of the things that I have found to be incredibly powerful in the work I do with my clients is to ask really good questions. And so if you have been feeling overwhelmed, if you have been feeling like your business is overcomplicated, then take it step by step and ask good questions. What specifically feels overcomplicated? If I myself had stayed in a place of feeling overwhelmed and didn't take the time to reflect and identify that specifically one area of my business was creating those feelings of lack of enjoyment and a bit feeling overcomplicated and harder than it needed to be, I may have put that label on all of my business. I may have shown up differently in all areas of my business and robbed myself of the other areas of the business that I absolutely love. So reflecting and really digging down to where does it feel complicated? And I can hear you now. You may be saying, everything's complicated, right? That's okay. And that might be true. It's not everything. I'll say that. It's not everything. but it may feel like there's a lot of areas that are complicated. And I would challenge you to just pick one area that feels the most challenging or is creating the most fires or draining you of the most energy and focus on solving that. Focus on creating simplicity in that one specific area of your business. And then with that under your belt, that win and that momentum, you can then go to another area of your business. And it also takes a bit of bravery. It takes stepping into being a bit uncomfortable. So to take it back to my example, everything I do with my clients is both strategic and it's mindset. It's almost always at the intersection of both. So strategically, I needed to do the feedback loop. Strategically, I needed to make some decisions based on data of what was working and not working, what was giving us a good ROI. But I also needed to identify the mindset of how did I get here and creating the overcomplication. And the mindset that needed to be worked on was the scarcity, like throwing spaghetti at the wall. Just throw it all at the wall. We're going to do a little bit of everything because we're not sure what's going to work and we need it to work. That was my mindset early on in my business. And so I needed to address that these decisions were being made from scarcity so that I can first identify that, acknowledge that, and ask myself, what decision would I make if I wasn't coming from the energy or mindset of scarcity, right? So again, you might find yourself in this pursuit of uncomplicating your business is that there is going to be some emotional mindset work that needs to be identified along with the strategy of uncomplicating your business. You don't have to do everything. You have to do a few things well consistently. I'm going to say that one more time. You do not have to do everything. That is not the definition of success. It's not the definition of productivity or being productive. You have to do a few things well consistently. So go find those few things that you and your business do well, focus on doing them consistently, and I guarantee your business will feel much more enjoyable, be more efficient, and thus more profitable. You don't need 100 different kitchen gadgets to be a great chef. You just need to learn how to use a handful of tools well and use them consistently. The same rings true for your business. You don't need to have every single market strategy going. You don't need to have every way to work with you or every service or every single offering that you've ever thought of needs to be delivered right now at the same time. Don't overcomplicate your business. Don't make running your business more overwhelming and less enjoyable. Simple is better. I have loved having you listen to this episode of Productivity Straight Talk. And I sure hope coming here today to Productivity Straight Talk and us hanging out and me inviting you to ask the question in your business, how can I make this simpler? How can I make this more enjoyable? By asking that question, you will change your experience in your business. No change, no change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. So based on today's episode, I think a great place to start is for you to take the time to reflect what is one specific area of your business that feels complicated. What is one specific area that, if it was simplified, would make running your business more enjoyable and less stressful? And then from that reflection point, I would love for you to use the feedback loop. What is no longer serving you? What are you going to stop? What is working? That's the continue. And what could work is the start. And really listen. I did not ask what you could start first. We really wanted to know, what can we subtract first? What do we already know is working, and we can double down on that and understand our capacity before we think about what is the new thing we're going to add or start. That's the feedback loop. Keep the feedback loop simple. Use it in specific areas of your business to draw out next action steps to solve challenges in your business or to solve for being overcomplicated. And then that's the action. So those are all the steps. Start at the beginning and just identify where in your business you're going to focus on first. And if you would like to go deeper past this episode of Productivity Straight Talk and you want help, you want coaching, training, support, a strategic partner on how to simplify your business, that is exactly what I do for my clients. To find out more about coaching and to read from clients that have worked with me, their experience of what that looks like, I would love for you to head on over to amberdelagarza.com/coaching. Again, that's amberdelagarza.com/coaching. And the first step is to schedule a discovery call so you and I get to meet, chat about your business, and together figure out if the next right step is working together. So that's my straight talk for today. Until next time, have a productive week.